Hey guys. So, I woke up this morning feeling a little blue. No real reason that I can think of, just blue. And I've been thinking about it all day. I mean, everyone feels this way sometimes, right?
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Dan here from Mandorine. Today I want to talk about looks, appearances. If you've seen my past videos or not, I do talk a lot about my lifelong lack of self-acceptance, hating the way I look, hating the way I sound, pretty much just self-loathing through my entire life. Obviously, I know that looks aren't everything. Personality really is more important, and we often say that we value personality above appearances, and this is just generally speaking, but I think a lot of times people that look good, have symmetrical faces, end up getting favored in a lot of situations, whether socially or through work, etc. I mean, look at a lot of the top YouTubers. They're not maybe the most amazing looking people, but they look good. They look symmetrical. And when you see people that look good, I think it's human instinct to kind of trust that person or favor that person more. I know there's been so many relationships where two beautiful people meet and start dating and maybe get married because they're both beautiful and they both see the beauty in each other's physical appearance, only for later for that relationship to crumble. I mean, you look at celebrities and this kind of thing happens all the time. But I digress, because the same thing happens with people that are ugly.
Have you ever had a dream that you want him to do you so much you could do anything?
I thought it was funny when I worked at a news station. I worked at Fox News, and in the bathroom, the men's bathroom there, they had a whole makeup counter with a blow dryer and powder and different makeup for the anchorman or the anchormen to put on before they go out and do the news. And I thought that was interesting to know that this is probably the way it is at most news stations, if not all news stations. People have imperfections, they have bags under their eyes, they don't look, there's something a little bit wrong, not perfect. So they have to put these things on their face to cover it up, and it's very strange. But you think about it, people watch the news, they're very judgmental of the people they see, and if they have a clean appearance, they're wearing a suit, they're sitting behind a fancy desk, and there's all this production behind it. Oh, well, this is a credible source. We can trust this source. And I'm not saying that everybody trusts the news or anything. I'm just saying, very, very generally speaking, when people have a certain appearance, it sells a certain idea of what that person is capable of, what that person's all about. So me hating my appearance, I just project crap to everybody. Knowing that a lot of, if not the majority of actors, male actors in Hollywood wear makeup, the majority of these news guys wear makeup, actually makes me feel a little better about myself.
Yeah, so you could tell he looks pretty embarrassed, but I mean, he still looks fucking handsome to me.
But I hate this idea. Ever since I was little, I hated the idea of people changing themselves for other people. I remember when I was little and I was playing the Pokemon games with my brother. I remember growing up, and he went to high school, and he became too cool to play games. I mean, it was too nerdy. It was too much of a social consequence. So even though he liked those things, he stopped doing them. And there was a lot of other things like this where people start hanging out with a certain crowd because the way it looks, even though that's not what they wanted to do, the peer pressure was just so much that they threw away their true desires and things they enjoyed to do something that was socially acceptable.
To camouflage myself to fit into a mold of what I think I should act or feel or think, well, that doesn't help anyone, and it just gets you lost.
I don't know how many videos I've talked about this already in, but I've been afraid my whole life of everybody, even myself. And I always feel so afraid of being judged by people, but I'm going to be judged whether I'm afraid or not. So the fear doesn't help me at all, but for some reason, I'm still full of anxiety and self-loathing and just a deep dissatisfaction with who I am. So long story short, I have to just accept myself. And that's not something I feel like I've done. Like, sometimes I do feel like I can just come to terms, this is the way I look. There's some things I can change, and there's a lot of things that are just genetics that I can't change. And I wish I could look different. I wish I was the most, good-looking person. But at the same time, there's certain things that come along with just looking good that are negatives. People might just treat you a certain way because the way you look, not having anything to do with your personality or how they actually feel about you. It's more of a sexual thing. It's just appearances, and I look good because I hang out with this person. I look good because I date this person. There's a YouTuber out there that a lot of people really hate and criticize named Onision. Now, I definitely don't agree with everything Onision says. I think sometimes every once in a while I find his videos entertaining, but I don't watch that often. But the one thing I do admire about Onision is that despite what everybody says about him, despite all the hate he gets, despite all the people making videos about him and tweeting about him, he continues to go his own way and march to the beat of his own drum. And even though I don't agree with so many of his other videos and he's kind of weird, I think it's really admirable that he does what he wants to do and doesn't get swayed by all this criticism being thrown at him. Sometimes I see people and I judge them myself, so I just make a quick judgment because I think our brains want to make the world simple. They want everything to fit into a little box that we can understand when really the world is more complicated than that. Not everything's just entirely this way, but I want to give people the benefit of the doubt. Investigate, find out who they are, see for myself what they are instead of just judging someone based on their appearance. So maybe if I can start giving others this opportunity, then also I'll be giving myself an opportunity to stop judging myself, stop judging everyone else, and just try to be a better person. Recently, I've just been kind of stranded out here in the middle of nowhere with no job and nothing to do, no friends. So all these negative thoughts I have that keep repeating themselves, I think they're normal thoughts. I think a lot of people are self-critical, but right now in this current state where I'm at in life, it's like the volume is just turned up on those thoughts. So I'm trying not to get too attached to these thoughts, and I realize that I just have to start doing something. Today I went for a long walk. Yesterday I went for a long walk. And it's surprising how just something as simple as getting out in the sun, getting some little exercise can help clear your mind a little bit.
So here's my March thought for you. You can't have the spring without the winter. And I think the winter is beautiful too. The key is knowing that you are not alone in what you feel. Everyone has felt the way you feel at some point. And knowing that makes me feel better about not feeling better.
So I guess what I'm trying to say is if you're having these kind of thoughts like I am, if you feel negative about yourself all the time, well, maybe that's just normal. I mean, if you don't have some negative thoughts about yourself once in a while, you're probably very unaware. You're probably a jerk. And it's hard to change our personalities. It's hard to change who you are without having some kind of reflection. And this sort of self-critical mental commentary can be the very thing that helps you to change, to grow, and to try to become what you think is a better person.